Hey folks, this is Vent with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out Let Them Trade, a game that's coming to Steam on July 24th, 2025. I am playing this about a week and a half prior, so for the most part what you're looking at is the finished product, but there might be a last-minute patch or two that might address some things. This game reminds me a lot of Grand Ages Medieval, albeit a more simplified version. There's a campaign, and there's a map editor, which also doubles as like a sandbox, I guess, but I'll get into that in a little bit. The campaign is just a series of levels, and the map editor is like create a map, like choose an empty template, and then from there you'll be able to decide what's visible, what's not visible, because there's scouting in this game. You'll be able to choose the settings that you've got. You'll be able to like make it harder, easier. Do you want to include bandits at all? There's an option to toggle that on or off. You can choose your starting money. There's a lot of different cool things that you can adjust. So there's no sandbox per se, but there is a map editor, which once you save the map the way you want it, you could play that. So yeah, I mean, I guess there's a sandbox. It's just a really convoluted way of getting to it. You have a little bit of work to do prior to actually activating a true sandbox. But I do appreciate that there is a map editor and that I can make things happen the way I want to. So what is this game about? Well, like in Grand Ages Medieval, you're essentially going to be setting up a series of towns and creating production in those towns and then trading things back and forth between those towns to make money. Each town in this game generates tax income, which you get, and you'll be able to use that money to further produce more towns or more things inside that town. You might be creating potato farms for the one town, and then a lumber camp for the other town, and then you put roads between them, and then you just watch the carts automate back and forth between the two towns so that, you know, the one gets potatoes, the other one gets wood. And like I said, this is important because you only have, each town only has so many like build slots, I guess. So you can't make a jack of all trades town. You have to rely on other towns to support other towns, and it's also important for money making too. You want to do this. You want to make it so that towns are reliant on others for trading, so that your tax income goes up. So it's like if you're one of those jack of all trades people, you're not going to get that here. You have to specialize towns and then trade between them. You've also got your castle keep, which is where you do your research. It's where you can send your knight out to do various scouting or to deal with bandits, that kind of thing. You do have some population to assign to different buildings, so you have to make sure you're putting down peasant huts and the like. Now, there is bandits in this game. Not all campaign levels have them, and you can toggle them on or off in your map editor if you go that route with it. But ultimately, it's just you've got these bad guys that will show up. They have like their own town keep, I guess, that you can infiltrate and attack. And the only thing I don't like about it, though, is that it operates on a dice roll system. So if it takes the army's base value, like if you have really crappy militia, you'll get a modifier of +1 to whatever die you roll, whereas the bandits might get like a +2 or whatever. So the bandits will sometimes just continuously win against you because of bad dice rolling. So there's an RNG element to the combat, which I'm not too fond of, but you can mitigate that by creating better units up the tech tree and assigning them to your knight, which then, you know, you can pretty much wipe the floor with them. Speaking of tech tree, there's like 3 different levels. It's kind of like Anno, kind of, sort of, in the sense that you've got your peasants, which do your dirty work. You've got lumberjacks and potato farms and sheep farms and the like. And then you move up the tree, you get better troops, and then other more advanced things like bricks and tailoring and clay pits and the like. And then you move up to the like citizens, and then finally the aristocrats. So you've got this Anno style housing system, I guess, so that will keep you busy for a while. But ultimately what you're doing is just, it's kind of monotonous, really, especially the campaign, because the first couple of campaign missions, it's the same exact strategy every single time. Create a town, got my 2 potato farms and my 2 peasant homes there. Okay, new town, create my 2 lumberjacks and my 2 housing, put a road between them, done. Like every single campaign level I've played thus far, is the same exact thing, like same exact strategy. And then once I reach my goal, the map ends. And then the next campaign, I'm doing it from scratch all over again. I'm hoping that as I get to the later levels where I'm getting into the citizens and the aristocrats, that the game is a bit more varied and it's a bit more open-ended for strategy. But like I said, it's a more simplistic Grand Ages Medieval. I'm not complaining. I already have 4+ hours into the game and I'm liking it. It's a really cool game to chill to. It's fun to watch the carts go back and forth, checking out the supply and demand of each of the different towns, what they want, watching the prices of the commodities go up and down as you flood the market with them, or they become scarce. And the trick really is finding that balance, because if you produce too much of a commodity, the price goes down. If you don't produce enough of it, people move out. So it's about finding that healthy balance as you're growing this network of people. And you want to keep growing your network of people because you want your tax income to go up, and you want to keep, maintaining your armies and continuing to do research, that kind of thing. So I do recommend it for what it is, and there's a demo should you want to check it out before you buy it. This is Vince. Thanks for watching. I'll catch y'all next time. Take care.